This is Craig Haugard with your Financial Issues Ag Update. Well, corn was lower yesterday as we saw a round of profit-taking hit the market. The weekly ethanol production report didn't help anything either, as it showed a weekly decline in production of 20,000 barrels per day, while at the same time, stocks rose slightly to 24.2 million barrels. Looking at South America, Argentina's corn crop looks okay for the moment, but forecasts suggest drier weather pattern to develop next week. There is the potential for significant crop losses if that dryness continues across Argentina, so we're going to want to keep an eye on that weather pattern. As I record this, however, we're kind of seeing a continuation of yesterday, with the overnight spot corn futures trading 3 cents lower. Soybean prices were lower on lack of Chinese demand for U.S. soybeans. Looking to the south, Brazil is expected to see a drier pattern develop over the weekend, which should allow harvest activity to pick up in the northern areas of that nation. At this point, it still appears as if we're on pace for a record crop in Brazil, and that in turn may limit exports from the U.S. and keep pressure on prices. In the overnight trade, we're seeing that price pressure as we have spot soybean futures trading 4 cents lower. Wheat prices traded lower, with Kansas City taking the lead to the downside. Chicago's March futures dipped towards last week's lows of 560 as all three wheat markets suffered through an ugly session. Egypt is in tendering for optional origin of wheat to be shipped in the last half of March, so it's going to be interesting to see if the recent price drop has made us competitive in the world export market and would maybe possibly allow us to get a portion of that Egyptian business. In the overnight trade, however, the price pressure continues, with Chicago and Kansas City each down a nickel, and Minneapolis trading a half-cent lower as I record this. Cotton gave up some ground during the session, with the March futures down 30 points to settle at 70.06. In the overnight trade, we're seeing a continuation of that, with spot futures down an additional 40 points. Livestock futures were lower straight across the board yesterday. April live cattle ended the day down 47.5 cents, while March feeder cattle were down 42.5 cents for the session. Lean hog futures had an especially tough session, with the April futures down $2.47.5 at the closing bell. Class 3 milk futures, on the other hand, turned in a pretty decent performance, with February futures closing 25 points higher to settle at $17.64. In the overnight trade, we have spot futures 5 points lower. Cash livestock markets were mixed. At the close, we had choice beef boxes 67 cents higher to close at $213.52, while selects were 23 cents lower as they settled at $211.93. Pigs got slaughtered as the pork carcass values plummeted $4.49 to close at $71.39 per hundredweight. This has been Craig Haugard with your Financial Issues Ag Update. We'll be right back with more financial issues after this.